Hi, this is Tim from Tim's Home Improvement. I'm putting down a vinyl plank flooring today, and this is the beginning of the project. So right now, this is the area in which I'm going to put the flooring down. I'm putting it over a hardwood floor right now, and it's made to do that. This stuff is really durable. It's thin, but it's really nice, and it's easy to put together. And that's kind of why I'm doing this, so to give you an idea how easy it is and how much money you can save. I had to fix this floor because it was bowed up from water damage. Here's a little puppy. And so I had to screw it down before I put this floor over it. So you don't want anything loose underneath of it, basically. And this here is a 4 mil plastic that I'm putting over the floor underneath of it for a vapor barrier and a moisture barrier. Although this stuff is waterproof and it's guaranteed waterproof, it's good stuff. So, and this is roughly about 260 square feet of area. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, and as I get into this, I'll be showing you how to do this. And you'll find out you could do this yourself actually, or you could see somebody doing it for you. But the first thing is to lay down this plastic. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you what else I got to do after that. Okay, so I got the plastic down. What I like to do is I like to tape it down at all the edges around it, so to make sure when you're walking on it, it doesn't get loose, you know, and it's pretty straight and no crinkles underneath. Because if you have crinkles underneath this particular flooring, you'll feel it. So you don't want it to bunch up on you. So basically, I tape down all the seams and all the important edges. So there we go. So you see the tape line there. There you go. And now I'm ready to start laying the floor down. Okay, there's a little dog wanting to come in and have fun. Okay, hi everybody, I'm back. And so I wanted to show you how this floor locks and how you put this seam in together. And so basically, you take your flooring, take your full piece, which is this here, and you slide it in to the groove here, and you make sure this is just overlapping enough so it sticks up. See how it's not even, and it sticks up like that? You want it like that, basically, and you want it all put together the best as you can all the way down the line. So once it's uneven like this, and you feel it's in the right spot, you can kind of push down on it and you can feel where it should be. You don't want it overlapping too much. You take your mallet hammer, you start at one end, knock it in, so you take that, and it's nice and smooth transition. Take your little piece here, and you make sure it's in the groove. You don't want it lifting up or damaging this piece, so you have to put it on an angle so it's not damaging. You take a small tap, because there's a little gap here, and you just look until you see the gap gone. You do it all the way down. I'm out of focus right here, but I'm out of camera. And you're good. That's what you do. That's how you do it. So, this is I believe a full piece. And I have a smaller piece that I start with down there to keep, so I don't waste a lot of this material. So this has been cut for a piece up at the front. So basically I take this piece, since it's been cut, I can only use one end of it going this way. You'll see when you start laying the floor, you can only use one end and you can only go one direction. So you don't want to waste a lot of these pieces. So this is one that I cut. And so basically, I'm going to put a full piece here. And I'll do like 2 planks all the way up here. Let me see. I'll move it up this way and I'll do 2 sections at a time, or 3, because this one here will go up to here. I'll show you. So I'm going to put this one in. Remember, you got to keep your 1/8 inch gap all the way both sides. They say 5/8, whatever. By the time you do an 1/8 here and an 1/8 there, it's 5/8. So, here you go. So you take that, you tap this in. I'm out of focus here. Hi. There you go. Gotta make sure everything's tight and straight. It's important because once it goes crooked, everything goes crooked. If you have a crooked seam here, if this is not flat and it's crooked because something, it's going to be crooked all the way down the floor. So every piece is really important. You just can't put it together and do it real fast. So it's really important that you take your time and hit every piece, and it's well worth it if you do it that way, and you'll have a really good floor. So they made these things to last good. These vinyl floors are dynamite, man. Just save you so much money. It goes over tile, it goes over hardwood, it goes over just regular wood. Existing floors, you don't have to demo anymore. And they really have some nice finishes on them. So, all right, I'm just gonna keep going, and I'll get back to you guys in a little bit. Okay, hi everybody, I'm back. So, I'm basically putting this floor together. I'm gonna show you how easy it is to cut and how easy it is to put this stuff in. So, basically, you have to line up the edges, proper edges, and lock it in place. But I'm going to show you how to cut it, and then I'll show you how it goes in. So basically, you're supposed to leave at least, 1/8 of an inch on each end for expansion, because this is a floating floor. So 7 3/4, so 6 3/4 is what I need here. So 6 3/4, and I measure that out. And take my square and take my utility knife, like it calls for. That's the edge that goes in, and take and score it like so, and whoop, didn't go all the way. There you go. Beautiful. So this edge goes in, fits in like so, and then this, the way this works is, lays on top, and you bang it down, and I have a small piece that So I tap on the side very lightly, just enough. You don't want it too tight. There you go. And you just repeat. So this is going down. This piece here is pretty much waste. So I need another piece to be so 13 and a half. So 13 and a half. Perfect. So this is the edge that is going. So this goes to 13 and a half. Mark it. Take your knife. There it is. Beautiful. So, same thing. And take this piece and tap into place. Make sure it's where you want it. And you're good. Okay. So when you get to corners and stuff like this, you have angles and stuff. You have to be able to cut this. So what you do is you measure with this piece. You take and figure out where that's going to be. Right here. Line it up the best you can. You're still going to have a gap here. You have to have at least an 1/8 inch gap here. So anyway, mark it. And mark it that way. And this piece is going to go up into here. So, and then you take and put it there. And then you mark it here. And take your square and figure out where it's going to be. Make sure it's straight. Draw your line right here, straight across. So you're going to cut this part out here. So I usually just put a mark there in case I get distracted or something and I walk away from this and I forget which side I'm going to cut. So this always tells me I'm going to cut this part. This is going to be trash. So basically what I use are some tin snips, and these things work really good. So basically you'll take this edge right here, and it works real good. So you don't have to worry about the cut too much because it's all going to be hidden with cord around. So and you go ahead and bring it on down right there, and take and do the same on this side, and there you have it. Pencil marks just wipe right off here. So, in a perfect world, this is what it does. So once again, if you have an unevenness down here, you want to make sure that's right. And there you go. Phone's ringing. That's probably my lovely wife. So, and that's the piece. So it just continues on. So there you have it. And now I'll take another piece and run it up there and finish that one. And away we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this little thing to show you how quick this moves along. I'm gonna put this together and just let you watch me put it together. And because everything moves real fast. I mean, so anyway, like I say, line everything up, slide it in, make sure everything's nice and smooth, and you're going to have a little bit of a space there, but you're going to have to pound that in when you get done. And once again, when you get to the end here, you just want it just uneven a little bit. You see how that stops? You can do this anywhere else on the floor and it doesn't do that. That's just, it's like a 16th, less than a 16th above there. That's how high it is, sits on top of this other one. Before you bang it down, you get a good tight fit. So what I do is once I get rolling on this floor and it gets all big like this, I just lift this up a little bit so you can put your fingers underneath of it and pull towards me and hit. And that brings everything in here together. So I don't have to take this and hit like I was, you know, like that. Because all these seams are all lined up. There's nothing uneven here. It's all one straight line, and that's what you want. So, but you know, this is a project that you guys could do, you and your husband, or your husband and your wife, or your son, or whatever. You guys can do this on a weekend. No problem at all. 16 3/4. So just keep in mind that, you know, they're doable projects, real doable projects. So 16 3/4. And, you know, once again, even if you don't do this stuff, at least you know how it's supposed to be done. And bottom line is, if you have somebody doing this at your house, you want to know how it's done. You don't want, so you could check their work, and you always want to check somebody's work. You don't want to just trust somebody unless you absolutely have to, and you get a good vibe from them, or feeling, or what have you. This floor is great for back east, wet rooms, or, you know, porches and stuff, and it's perfect because it's waterproof. You can get snow on it and it just dries right up. It doesn't affect the floor, and it looks just like a wood floor. It's beautiful stuff. So, especially in cold weather and stuff like that, it's really good. You don't have to have a hardwood floor in those houses anymore. How nice that goes together. When you're down here looking at it, it looks beautiful. Trust me. I wouldn't put a floor together that had cracks in it and looked like junk. You know, these people here wanted a laminate floor to begin with, and actually they had a quote for somebody to come in here for like $4,800 and do this whole floor. You know, it was like 260 square feet, $4,800, and he was going to take up all this old stuff, and the old stuff is just as thick as this stuff. It's just a rip-off. The guy was ripping them off. Anyway, he called back, said he'll do it for 36, and then he called back again and said, "Oh, well, I don't have any word. I'll do it for 28." So, and this lady here says, you know, says, you know what? You think I'm stupid? Do it for that cheap. Why didn't you just come out and say you'd do it for that cheap to begin with instead of jerking me around? I don't want you in my house, and you thinking I'm stupid, like what you did was, right. It's like people just don't have a sense of anything. It seems like they just think whatever they do is okay and everybody's going to accept it. You don't have to accept anything. You shouldn't let people like that in your house to begin with. People that, have a good heart and good spirit, and I say love the Lord and serve Jesus with all their heart because Jesus is my boss. So I have to please him before I please anybody else. So if you get somebody like that, you're doing really good. Even if all you people out there that don't believe in that, it's a good rule to go by, though. It really is. So that's how quick it goes. So probably when I get to the end, I'll be showing you how I'm going to put the cord around in and everything. And glad I could share that with you. Well, this is the floor. This is one day's work for me. This is one day's work. So I haven't put on the quarter round, which is the molding, and the molding is right here. That's the quarter round. So that has to be put in to cover up the gaps. And once I do that, I'll be finished. This is the house. This is the view outside. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is where I'm working. This is the kind of view that I have. Is that cool or what? So it's pretty awesome. So anyway, like I say, this is one day's work. I'm still not done. What do you think, puppy? You like? Yeah. All right. I know the homeowner likes it. I mean, look at it up close. It's pretty good. It's nice, huh? So, that's a vinyl plank flooring. It's pretty cool. All right, I'll show you when I get the molding. Okay, you guys. This is where I finish it up. This is what I'm going to be doing today to finish up this job. This is what you call a quarter round. It's a piece of material that it goes up against the edges of the wall to fill in the space that you have to leave for this flooring to expand. So you have to put it in like molding. You have to cut it on an angle and make it look nice and pretty. And so that's to finish the floor off. You can't put any nails into the actual floor. It all has to be in the baseboard so the floor can move in and out, in and out. Because if it binds up, if you have it bound up on one end or the other, it's going to buckle, it's going to make the floor do weird things because it is going to expand and contract. So you want to be very mindful about having all the edges loose. Once you get the floor in, like it is in, you can jump on it and push it this way or push it that way. You just want to make sure you have spaces. And like what I did is I cut along the edges to make sure that it wouldn't bind up. So it has clear space all the way around it so it can't bind up and come apart. And that's what they recommend to do. So you always want to listen to what the manufacturer tells you to do. So they know the best way. So that being said, I'm going to take my first measurement and cut this piece here and start over here. This piece is a little unusual because this is tile and I can't shoot a nail into it, so I'm going to have to put some kind of a glue behind here so it'll glue itself in. So that being said, I'll get with it and I'll show you what I do once I get the nail gun all hooked up and ready to go. I thought I'd show you the space in between the molding and the floor. So it's like that all the way around. You can see it's just like a quarter of an inch, maybe almost an eighth, all the way around. So, but you need that so it can go back and forth. This little part right here, see how it gets all close up against there? I'm going to trim that. I don't like that. So that's going to get trimmed to match the other one. See the space right here? So this needs to get trimmed along here like that. So I'm going to do that before I put the molding on. Thought you'd like to see that. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to put the molding in. It's just a simple, it's pretty simple. You just make sure everything's lined up and it goes right in like so. I like to hit it low so you don't see it on top, so the nail holes are pretty much covered up, and then you just go all the way down the line, and I'll show you when I get done. Alright folks, it's all done. It's all finished. That's the edging that I did, and I showed you how to do that. Don't get dizzy while I do this, but there you go. It's all good. I got happy customers, and that's all that matters to me. Just as long as they all happy. Ain't walking out of here unless they were. That's the stair tread. Finish off the piece right there. So, and that's it, folks. Thank you.